Hey everyone, Colin once again, and welcome back to the next episode review of Dandadan of season 2, episode episode 17. So episode 17, I'd still say it was still a very enjoyable episode, and it's despite not much action, but I think it's still overall it's relatively funny, if I can say the word right. And now feeling bad for Gigi because he's still possessed by Evil Eye, and so he has his body trapped in Taro, the mannequin. So we see Granny, the young priestess, and Momo, even the Madison alien and his and Okarun, trying to perform the exorcist, trying to by like setting him on fire and stuff, and they extinguish him. And then when they open Toro's face up, Evil Eye's still there. He's like, waste of time. So they try it again, right? Open his face again, still Evil Eye, waste of time. So they bring him home, and so while they're so when they bring him home, and they see that well, I wish what I thought was enjoyable. One thing I liked was is on the drive home. It shows like more of the closer the relationship between Okarun and Momo. I think it's pretty much like the ending of the last episode is when Momo hugged Okarun because she was so happy that he was alive, that he was alive, and she just gave him a big hug, you know. And with this episode on the car drive home, how she was just just keep wanting to keep on touching his hand, you know, and just not like at first like Oka's like, oh, I'm so sorry, you know, and he's like, put your hand down, and she's just full on touching his hand, and I would say like more, I'm like, the more I see this, is more Momo is starting more crushing, is more crushing on Okarun. And I'll probably say this is probably after this. I'll probably say the next step for Momo is confessing to Okarun's, just confessing to him, because this went on for almost like a minute of just her just touching his full on touching his hand, just like rubbing her hand against his. I'm like for a second I felt like she was gonna, you know, almost well, they're in the car though, so she would be awkward for everyone to hear that though, but. I'm like, damn, Momo. She's just full on caressing his hand, and and like Ogre's like, what? I don't know what game you're playing, what rule is though, but. And then of course they get interrupted, like cliche when something like that happens to get interrupted, of Juju is still in possession, still inside of of Taro the mannequin. So by the time, so like I said, the next if she's doing that fully on his hand, the next step, big step for her is full on confessing to Okarun, because first the big hug, and now just full on touching his hand. The next thing for Momo is a confession, her confessing to him. That's the big that's the next thing for Momo, because we know that she's full on crushing on Okarun right now. So with that touching his hand a lot, yeah. So after they get home, Ira's there, and like Madison and everyone and his son, everyone, literally everyone is full on eating at at the dinner table now. And then with Gigi, they think, oh, Gigi's back to normal, because he's like, hey, because he's calling by how he's talking normally, right? But Granny is like, well, wait a minute, hold it. We gotta make sure he's not tricking us. So I like the aspect that they splash him with cold water, and he goes back to Evil Eye. Now with hot water, he goes back to his normal self. He's always making those like those noises like, ooh, you, like how the way he's talking like that, just joking around like that, right? I like to use they use the concept of Renma one half. If you remember me talk about Renma one half, right? With Remna, how he transforms into a girl with cold water and then hot water back into his old self as a boy. So, so in this case, cold water, Evil Eye, hot water, Gigi. So I like they borrow the concept of Remna one half. But that was like, okay, this is now turned into an episode of Remna one half now. And so now Granny has everyone to have him carry thermos cups, of hot water, just in case, right? In case he transforms again, splash in his face, then just keep him as Gigi. So he has them carry thermoses on them. And then when they're back at school, and Momo's like acting all happy. Hey, Okarun, let's walk together. I mean, she's like full on being happy walking with Okarun, right? And then we're getting back with Ira when she walks into her classroom, which is almost forgotten thing because how she spread that fake rumor about Momo, right? And she won't confess to her class that she's the one who did it, right? And people were shocked. Well, what? She's not the type of person to do that, right? So now we see her now, but when she walks into her class, her classmates just like give her that look, and they just kind of like turn their heads, right? Because now they know that she's not the star of being acting as the center of attention, the star of the school, right? And then Momo comes to say, "Hey, Ira, let's hang out," right? And then her classmates look at her like, "What? She hangs out with them, or Momo wants to hang out? Wants to hang out with her." I'm like, yeah, I get it, because of how the way her class is reacting to her, right? That's why Okarun and Ira, and Momo wants to hang around with Ira because of how the way her class is acting to her. But then at the same time, Ira, she still wants to keep up her status as the star pupil of the school, though, despite the fact, though. And so they sleep over at her house because in case of Gigi, coming back with as Evil Eye. So as they stay over there, they're all eating at the dinner table again, right? And I like the fact that Granny's asking Okru, oh hey, pass the sauce, right? And they try to do the fake out, right? Because as they pass the sauce, a little drip comes down. But it's not. Oh wait, it's not it because it's not the right sauce. So, fake out. Think they're trying to do it again, right? As he passes the sauce for real, this time a drop lands on Gigi. So I guess you can count that as water because it's cold, because the sauce is cold, I guess. So I guess that kind of, if it's cold liquid, like that counts though, like water. And then all of a sudden, boom, just full on bursts onto Evil Eye, just goes and flips the table in rage, right? I'll kill you all. I'm like, yeah, so that just happened. So yeah, a single drop of soy sauce, which counts as cold liquid, so that counts. So it's not just water; it's any type of liquid that's cold, like soy sauce. So even a single drop of soy sauce can just full Evil Eye rage. But overall, yeah, it was. I still enjoyed that. I still enjoy the episode. It was a very fun episode, still, regardless. Just taking the aspect of Remno one half, that was pretty funny. I do think even when during when he was splashing the hot and cold water in his face, he was singing a tune. I do believe. I guess they're reminiscing Remno one half with that aspect, but I guess when Gigi was singing a tune, I guess it was kind of like singing the opening of Remno one half. I could be wrong though, because I haven't listened to much of the opening, but I guess if they're doing the concept of Remno one half, I might as well sing the tune of the opening, which is not a bad thing, because hey, I like Remno one half, so whether you think it's the old one or the reboot or whatever, but that was still a nice, interesting concept to use for this episode. And then, like I said, with the whole thing of Momo crushing on Okarun, just full on touching his hand, I'm like, she's one step away from full on confessing her love to him. It's gonna be happen sooner or later, because why would she just keep on full on just touching his hand, fully on, It's not just like, first it's like a finger or touching one. No, she's full on just caressing his hand. I'm like, I see you. You think you're playing me for a fool as the viewer here, Momo. You're liking, but you just still refuse to say his name though, because he has the same name of the guy you want to date though. So you're still refusing to say his name though. But yeah, you have no problem just full on touching his hand, right? So yeah, but sooner or later you're gonna confess to him, and then you'll probably say his real name, not just Okarun. So, but I do enjoy that. So, but yeah, still a fun episode, and I really, like I said, season 2 has been a blast so far watching. Now we got the whole story arc. Oh, and by the way, with the whole the leader of the crazy family, the old lady. Well, the rest of the family has been arrested, and now like the rest of the whole now the leader, the old lady, she's run away. She's still at large, and it turns out she's a freaking alien. Because she goes on fulls on and rips off her old raggedy face and just turns out like some kind of alien elephant with the trunk with these big eyes. I'm like, okay, so you're an alien elephant now. Okay. And now she's a large, and she's gonna get her revenge on Momo now. So that's gonna be a problem for the next thing, but probably gonna use the evil eye to help them out though. So I'm like, jeez now. She's the one who gets away, and she's a alien elephant. So is that the goal for the rest of the family? Are they full on alien elephants too? Well, they've been arrested, so but who knows though? But just now that the crazy lady of the psycho lady of the family, just face ripping. Now like she's like an alien elephant now. But yeah, I gotta mention that though because that's gonna happen again. So, but she's gonna track him down now and back to her place. Great. That's gonna be another wonderful fight for me to see. So. But anyway, yeah, still a fun episode. I really enjoyed it. The Remnant 1/2 episode, you could say. But thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. We'll see you next time. Later.